Now it's Rubio.
All right, I will call the regular meeting to order at 7:01, and we'll have Mike Bronco lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right on, Mike. Now, motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the special meetings of December 9, 2025 and December 30th, 2025. Each member received copies for review.
Second the motion.
All right, any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the monthly reports of December. Each member received copies for review.
Second the motion.
All right, questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I'm gonna have a very brief opening comment. I feel all right. I think I might have an infection or something. So with an abundance of caution, I don't want to infect anyone, but I think we can operate in this format and shouldn't miss a beat, I guess. So let's go straight to public comment. Is there anyone either in the room or on Zoom that would like to make a public comment? All right, last call for public comment.
We have one.
Okay,
Whoever KS is, you're in, unmute and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, this is Christine Smolkus from 82 Beardsley Avenue. Are you able to hear me?
yep,
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Naugatuck has been having a lot of festivals and events downtown, and I'd like you to consider not letting them take place on Sunday mornings or on Saturday evenings between 3 and 5:30 p.m. And the reason is that there are several churches downtown, and the festivals are sometimes taking place when the churches are having services. It has created some hardships for parking for people who are going to church. A lot of these folks are elderly and making them walk a long way because the parking spaces are filled by the fairgoers is not right. And also I've experienced people who have just gotten food at a festival, loitering on the church steps right before church starts, and they're eating their tacos or an ice cream or whatever, and they're not letting then they haven't moved when the people who are going to church are trying to get into the church. Also, there was a Halloween event. I think it was at the Y, and it was creating the same kind of problems just because of the timing of it. So I would encourage you to be considerate and respectful of the church's schedules and refrain from scheduling events downtown on Sunday mornings or on Saturdays between about 3 and 5:30 p.m. and perhaps even suggest to the Y that they do the same. Thank you very much.
thank you. We'll look at this. Just thinking out loud. Most of our festivals are on Saturday, but like the Boy Scouts, other civic groups have events on Sundays. So I guess the question is, some of the events we don't really control. We control a town festival. We'll look into it. Do you have any innovative suggestions?
You just disappeared.
No, I told her back over, but she's still muted.
Okay.
All right, we'll note for the record and take a look at Christine's request. Is there any other public comment?
Not
Okay.
that I see.
Let's go to Kyle Kelly and his monthly report.
Good evening, everyone. I'll try to make this quick. I sent out my monthly report, and I'll just highlight some yearly stats. We continue to be busy. Last year, believe it or not, we were just about 100 calls shy of the amount of calls we did the year prior. But looking at the monthly numbers, we had a couple of lulls, which is if you compare the month over month, it's still pretty impressive. We were still well over 5,000 calls last year. We've done over 500 mutual aid calls, so we're still pushing along. We're working on adding some more paramedics and EMTs to our rosters and increasing our paramedic coverage, as well as increasing some training. And we've had a number of services and paramedic programs reach out to us recently that are interested in having students ride with us to get their experience, their road experience. So that's pretty exciting for us to be doing. We're still building, we're still chugging along. I'm working on budget information coming up for the budget cycle. And other than that, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, any questions for Kyle?
Yeah, I just want to make mention about the focus on training. There may be items on an ambulance, sometimes complicated items that you don't touch very often. So that's why it's very important to keep up with your skills and pull the things out and use them and get hands-on. So that when it does happen, I mean, it might be something used twice a year, 8 times a year, you never know. So it's important to get out every piece of equipment, get your hands on it, and be familiar with it very often. So you don't say, when do I put the top strap on? When do I put the bottom strap on? I don't remember. So that's why training is really a good focus.
All right. Anyone else? All right, downtown enhancements. Before I start, Jim K, is there anyone in the audience or on Zoom? Paul Munko, Deborah Healy, anyone like that who was here last month?
Paul Munko is, you want me to bring him in?
Oh, not yet, but who, is there anyone else here?
No, he's on Zoom.
Okay,
Paul's the only one that's on Zoom.
all right, so the one item I want to take care of tonight, and I'm pretty sure we all agree, but I'll throw it out there. There's been a lot of banter about people not liking the colors of our planters. So in our finalization of the project with the contractor, the planters were damaged in transit, and many of them need to be repainted. What I'm thinking is that we'll take a credit from Fucci and we'll paint them ourselves, and we'll have maybe different colors in different areas, different groups, Arts Commission, Garden Club, whatever, have their thoughts on painting them. And I just think I think we could make it a lot nicer myself. But having said that, I want to see what the group thinks.
Excellent idea. Because they're pretty bland right now.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the colors.
Yeah, I would think painting them is great as long as we can coordinate what people are doing on them and how it's going to transition through the town.
Yeah, so that gets to the point of what we were starting to talk about last month with a group effort to work on everything. Now, there's a lot of groups involved, a lot of people, a lot of different opinions. But what I like is starting at 30 Church Street, our new parking lot. There's all types of cool walls there, mural projects. We have planters there in the front and in the back. I think we should start there and then look at various parts of town and get input and, just proceed. We're not in a rush. We don't have to paint every planter all at once. We can, do section by section and make it, much nicer, I think, but, I'm looking for input.
Yeah, Mayor, I think it's a good idea. Perhaps at the next Arts Commission meeting, we can have a discussion about this. That people will be at that one as well. And, there are many towns that do things like this, whether it's the transformer boxes along the road, fire hydrants, and they are a coordinated
Yeah.
effort that can be done with professional artists or professional artists overseeing community artists. So I think maybe we'll make sure it gets on the Arts Commission agenda for this month and they can have a discussion about it. And since Deb's gonna be the point person on a lot of downtown stuff, she'd probably be the perfect one to really get that discussion rolling.
All right, so, we're gonna, Jim Stewart is in the audience, right?
Yes,
All right, so Jim, when we resolve things with the contractor, we'll take a, credit and we will, paint and we'll come up with a townwide coordination plan as to the best way to do it, okay?
Yes.
We're gonna take care of that this week, next week, when, we have a meeting set up this week, don't we?
Next week.
Next week. All right, so that'll take care of the planters. The facades is ongoing. The murals, I think we have enough to start there. The crests, let's hear from Paul Munko, as to progress on the crests. Paul?
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a little under the weather myself, so I'm joining from home today. But yeah, quick update on the crest. So I've been in communication with Rocco and his team, and basically there was a little bit more that needed to be done in terms of simplifying the designs for manufacture. So we essentially, the last message that was forwarded to me was they sent my most simplified design over, and they're essentially having the manufacturing company put a proof together based on that. So they might have to simplify things a little bit further. But once we get this initial sort of idea of how detailed things could be, we'll be able to move on to those other graphics and get those approved by you guys as well.
Okay, any questions for Paul? Well, you look like you're in a Bohemian art studio there. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. It's just my home office at home, but the lights are giving me a little headache, so it's dim in here.
The lights look cool the way they're coming on the screen.
Thanks.
All right, so just to summarize downtown enhancements, we're gonna keep going. I would say we will, over the next 2-3 years, we will continue with enhancements, fire hydrants, the utility boxes, everything is fair game. And in my mind, when you do it piece by piece and do it gradually, incrementally, it'll come out a lot better, because if we put everyone in a room, they would never agree on what to do. So I think we will proceed section by section and things will fall into place. We can tweak, adjust, modify as we go. Are you guys good with that basic strategy?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, Pete, I have a question.
Yep.
The woman that came that was representing the downtown group, the group that worked
Main
to-
Street?
Yes, Main Street. Are we moving forward with that? Because I thought, when she first presented, I was thinking that the price was going to be very high, but it was low. So it seemed like a good move to move forward with them. Will we be working with them?
It's a good question. Why don't you bring it up at Burgess comments? I'm open to it. It's certainly not a hefty monetary tab. So, And I don't know how helpful it'll be, but, having more people on the team, more eyes, in my mind, can't hurt, so I'm certainly not against it, but I guess I want to hear what everyone else thinks. So bring it up at Burgess comments, Caitlin.
Okay, great. Thanks,
But
Mayor
it's a
Heath.
good question. It is a loose end that I should have included it here, in this section. I will next time.
Main Street, yeah,
Your Main Street's on it.
there's a small charge there.
It was
Like 1,500?
Yeah.
When she was talking, I thought it was gonna be like. big
That
figures.
is, that's,
I don't-
she had talked about a per capita fee,
Yeah,
but then they also talked about a $1,500 fee, so
yeah.
I think there's a mixed message there
Mhm.
on what the actual fee should be.
I'm good with 1,500.
Me too.
Yeah, I thought let's just vote on it right now.
All right, let's go to item 9. And we have a handout. You have, I believe, 2 separate road paving plans. And one of the plans you have is our approved plan, which basically tackles almost every road in 4 years. There's some that go for the year 5, but for the most part, we would finish paving all the roads in Naugatuck in 4 years under the plan that we approved. I'm working with Jeremy, the street department, and we're looking at some debt restructure, and we can, if we want, and I'm in favor of it, completing 4 years of paving in 2 years, which would mean this year and next year. So in the current term that we're in, we would, in essence, pave every road on these lists. And you know what? There are some straggler roads I'm sure we missed. And there's a lot of considerations when you group roads together. Utilities, there's a lot of things that we have to look at. But the idea here would be to get virtually everything paved this year and next year. So this year we would do what we were going to do this year and next year. And next year we would do what we were going to do in year 3 and 4. And when we get to the money part of it, I'm pretty sure that by leveraging our future revenues from Amazon and other places and some debt restructure that's going away, we can accomplish this, without raising the mill rate and, really make some significant progress. I have to commend Jeremy and his team, because they've come a long way and they're excellent, and they're confident that they can double what they do this year, and they've already started preparing for it. So we have the ability, doing the prep work with our own forces and working, with our current paving team, to get everything done much more quickly. So I wanted to throw that out and get some feedback before we start piecing the actual plan together.
These are accurate numbers, huh? They look pretty low compared to what we've seen in the past.
So I didn't hear you, Rocky.
It looks like this is a little bit low compared to what we've seen in the past.
What do you mean by
low? Am I just looking at it crooked?
That's the one you've approved.
It is? Okay.
It's a condensed version of the one you guys already approved.
Gotcha, thank you.
Unless there's a number that.
There's no pricing on this list.
This is just square yards, isn't it?
This is square yard. Oh, okay, I'm thinking numbers.
You'll have to multiply that.
I think, yeah, there's a number for that.
It gets bigger.
What am I looking at?
That's wise.
Thank you. I know I was looking at it wrong.
What's the old saying, Rock? It's too good to be true. It ain't true.
I know.
Turn it around.
Well, let me ask this, is there anyone who's against doing this?
No, no.
I'm sure when we miss a street, we'll hear about it.
Donovan Court.
There you go.
I never see that street anywhere. I've been there since 2005. Huh?
The answer to that is like what the mayor said,
I might know.
you have the 2 years shoved into one, the next 2 years shoved into one, and then it's actually a year left.
Yeah.
When that third year, you always need, obviously it's always fluid, so that's where, like Pete said, we pick up those stragglers, which would be like your thought.
Yeah, I've been there since 2005. I've never seen my road paved.
It's not worn out yet.
Feel better than some others.
I think somewhere along the way it said it was paved in 2017, but I don't believe that's true.
Was it micro paved in 2017? No.
I would have known because I would have had to drive over it.
Was it like districts or something?
No.
It's right off of Donovan Road.
That would be one of the ones that we stick in.
There's only 5 houses on
Looks
the
like a
street.
long driveway.
Yeah, basically.
Maybe that's why they missed it.
Right. Well, we've got the plows now plowing, so, it takes time.
And if you're a straggler, you get a bonus. They put a sign out in front says we were stragglers.
There's a few of those.
You can print that up for $18.
Yeah, just keep it in the back of your mind. I'll remind you.
All right, so we'll work internally with Jeremy and the team, and we'll start preparing to put this together. All right, senior center update. I'm gonna I guess look to Kim and Julie to give us an update.
Well, things are going a lot better there with, Kara is doing a lot of different activities. As a matter of fact, this Friday is going to be a soup cook-off. So if anybody is around, she has gotten different restaurants to bring in soup, for everyone to try. And it seems like she's getting a very good response to a lot of the activities. So I think things are progressing in a good way there. Especially with the activities. I see some of my friends responding, which is nice because they have never responded to anything with the senior center. So, I think things are going well. Kim?
Kara's absolutely been a bright spot in the senior center. And just some great ideas, celebrating people's birthdays at a particular time of the month so that everybody gets celebrated in there. I'm working on cleaning out cluttered areas. And she just is a dynamo, and I think she has a vision for what this center should look like at the end of it, and I think she can create that as well.
Is Harvey thinking about retiring anytime soon?
We have to answer that.
Oh, I don't know. I was just curious.
Yeah.
He's been there for a long time.
Yeah, he's made no public announcement.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Right.
He enjoys what he's doing, so.
yeah, definitely.
You put it.
All right, any
Monthly activities.
anyone have a comment or a thought on this? All right, we will now proceed to Chief McAllister, who is advocating for a new massage parlor ordinance.
Yeah.
We've had a draft prepared by the borough attorney, so,
They want to put a comment there, man?
Not a sneeze, not a pause.
Is it water based?
Colin?
We're bringing this before the board. As you guys are aware, most recently we did have an arrest that stemmed from illegal activity that was occurring in a local massage parlor. This has been an ongoing issue for about the last 5 years or so. They tend to periodically come forward. We usually get community generated complaints on these for presenting themselves as reputable establishments, but offering illegal services in addition to presenting themselves as legitimate business. The reason that we're asking for consideration for a massage parlor ordinance is in working with Attorney Fitzpatrick's office. We reviewed several different template policies or ordinances that other communities have put forward. The whole concept is essentially that when we're relying on the state, the Department of Health, or other organizations to try to bar these organizations from, or these businesses from operating after we've identified them, made arrests, or identified illegal activity, it is often very difficult. The whole model of a lot of these illegal businesses or businesses that are offering illegal services is that they will switch LLCs, they will move employees around. They can sometimes have a landlord that might be cooperative in that sense too. So they know how to essentially work along the system. So our goal is essentially that if we identify illegal activities occurring in one of these businesses, we can revoke a license for them to operate within the borough and essentially stop the problem before it really occurs. The ordinance that Attorney Fitzpatrick was drafted essentially allows us for inspections, ensuring that there's no one living there. In some of our past cases, they do have the employees living on site in sort of fabricated bedrooms or pots in there. It's important to note too that sometimes we'll get the feedback that well, what's the harm with this? But unfortunately, a lot of the employees that are there, we have concerns ourselves whether or not they're being trafficked, or whether or not they themselves are victims. But this actually would force photo identification, knowing who the employees are, putting them through legitimate means for getting the proper licensing that they would be required. So, my goal here isn't necessarily that, we want to go out there and be disruptive to businesses. I don't want to have to send my officers out to do the large amount of work that's required to uncover this type of activity or resulting in arrest. I would rather go upstream and put certain measures in place that prevent these businesses from conducting these illegal activities in the first place and legitimizing them. Some of the things that you'll see in the ordinance are common practices, if they have to show that there's no criminal history in that, or there's no history of these types of, often they'll be cited in one community and move to another. So we're looking for, if there's been any problems in other communities, and they're simply moving their problems to Naugatuck, and we're looking for, be able to identify who's running this business. So if there's a problem, we can address it with them, and if necessary, withdraw their license to work there. This is an early form of development. Obviously, we're soliciting feedback and comments. I was speaking with the Valley Health Department earlier today as well too. Jess Christie had some feedback from us as well too. Concerns about the inspection and not duplicating efforts with them with their requirements as well too. But the main goal here is going to be that when we find that they're in violation of our regulations that we've established, that we have that ability to withdraw their ability to operate, and that's the final, goal of what we want to get to. So, I know it's a multi-meeting process and we're gonna go through this, but wanted to bring it before everyone while we still have it fresh on our minds, and everyone can kind of understand where we're coming from in this. We don't want to be disruptive to any of the businesses that are legitimate and not doing this, but at the same time, it's a very clear profile of the type of businesses that do this. It's an entire unfortunate subculture of businesses that operate in these, and we struggle with this with smoke shops that sell unauthorized marijuana, vape products to the youth in town. We're working on that with the state to try to address those, but this does have a local solution for us, with a local ordinance for us to try to address this.
All right, so for the new Burgesses, the process with an ordinance is if we like the concept, we set up a public hearing, advertise it, the public can come in and comment. We have time to take a closer look at it, tweak it, modify it. And when we're happy, we can adopt the ordinance. So I guess, Nancy, why don't you, unless anyone objects, let's set this up for a public hearing. we'll see what the public thinks. We'll take a closer look. And if we like it, we'll adopt it.
What impact will this have on existing businesses?
So that's something that we also want to take into consideration of feedback of pre-existing, the number of establishments that the borough would license, if we want to number that. And that's where I'm going to come to defer to all of you as elected officials and what you want. My primary concern and goal is ensuring that if we identify illegal activity, we can revoke the license to operate here. But I think that all of you are in a better position to gauge what you prefer for the number of businesses, making sure that the pre-existing ones can onboard into ensuring that they're licensed with submitting this type of paperwork and the application process. Yeah, I believe this one does have a 60 or 90-day grace period.
I'm a little bit surprised that this isn't covered by law. Most exploitation is covered by law and you don't have to do an ordinance. And I support what you're doing 1,000%. And I have the same concerns that you do. But I think it might be worth our time to question at the state level why there aren't ordinances about this. I mean, there are for children that are exploited, there are for safety regulations that can become very cumbersome, but are necessary in almost every industry. And we have this out there and you don't have the same requirements or you don't have the same oversight.
I think it's similar to what we see with the smoke shops, which is that
Right.
the state is generally overwhelmed with the number of them. And the revocation can revoke one license, but then there's a process in place to simply switch around, and it's kind of a shell game that they'll try to do.
I got you.
Reopening.
I got you.
And you'd have to think that organizations that run these illicit massage parlors, they look for towns that don't have ordinances,
That is
that
correct.
don't have rules to play by.
Right.
So right now, we are a mark. We are a prime target. Until we get something in place that tells these businesses, Naugatuck's not the place you're gonna do this. And I'm very pleased we're gonna move forward with this ordinance
Yeah.
discussion because I think we need to have it. And it's not fair there are legitimate licensed massage therapists that are working in this town. It's not fair to them that you have these businesses coming in and performing illegal activity and being able to get away with it. This will help you do your job. This will help make our town better. I
Yeah,
can't see a negative in this.
No, absolutely.
Which it does mean, you know what I mean, like it does cover the existing legitimate businesses, right? So that was my first thought, is how would this impact me if I'm a legit, so. It looks good.
Yeah, they would have to eventually on-ramp in through a licensing process, and it's just, as we have a regional public health department, I just want to work a little bit more closely with Valley Health to get some of their concerns, so we're not duplicating it. They already do have a license process, but it generally does not have as much
Teeth.
yes, and it doesn't allow the law enforcement component strongly, so I am working with Jessica to speak with Valley Health.
She's on and having a help you want.
Yeah, she said she was gonna try to get in here.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for letting me just chime in and say hello. And, this is a very important topic that the chief has brought forward. You'll notice in your packet, there is mention that other towns in Connecticut do have these ordinances. In the Naugatuck Health District jurisdiction, which is the local health department jurisdiction that we oversee, we do have this approach with Seymour, Ansonia, and Shelton as well, where they have a local municipal ordinance in conjunction with our public health code that we enforce. So I did provide Chief some feedback late in the day today. We just got a copy of it, so we're gonna have some further discussions. But we do have a thorough public health code and plan review, permitting, inspection, reinspection, etc. But we're limited to the confines of the public health aspect of it. So what we're looking to do with the expansion or the addition of this ordinance is give the police department the ability to do some investigative or action work that we aren't able to do under our code or the state code, or that is not in existence in the borough of Naugatuck yet. So we're happy to work together. We've seen it be successful in other municipalities. I just think we need to have a couple more conversations about the language, but the concept, we're supportive of. And this would not replace the public health licensing, permitting, inspections, fees. This would be in addition to. So I just want to make note of that. It's not meant to replace what we're doing at the health department. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. All right, let's just, Nancy, I'm gonna ask you to, set this up for a public hearing at our, February meeting. Notice it, publish it, and, we'll take comments from, the public, including the legitimate, establishments.
Can I make a few comments?
Sure.
I read through this quickly. I mean, there's some minor stuff. Instead of city, it should be town. Instead of city council, it should be borough board, things like that. Some language that needs to be cleaned up. Do we know how many massage parlors we have in town? I have no clue, except one that we had a grand opening for.
I'd say I believe it's 4 to 6 right now. I checked, but I don't, Jess would probably know the numbers.
It's close enough. So if we have that many, what if we limit it to 2, but we got 3 legitimate ones? Are we putting somebody out of business?
That's what I wanted to bring this forward for, is if there's a number that we would want to have, like liquor stores or something, or we're comfortable with just having the number that we want to open up, provided they just submit it to the necessary application process. So I think that's part of the discussion here. I have no position on that.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's something I was hoping for feedback from the board.
But I don't know that we can come up with a number unless we know how many legitimate ones are in town. So we know we're not shutting one down that we shouldn't.
And Jess may know that, if she could chime in and say if there is a number of them in the other codes, or if it's just open-ended with an application process.
When a new ordinance goes into effect, sometimes the current businesses are grandfathered,
Not according to what I read in here.
So
but it could be, that's boiler.
It could be, yeah.
Right.
This is a
That's
draft.
boiler.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it's,
As long as we don't grandfather some of those we don't want.
Yeah.
well, we could, because then we'd have the teeth to get rid of the ones that we don't want.
Yeah.
And then you get down to your number and you don't let anybody else in.
if someone is to apply for a massage license through the health department, and they have the proper paperwork, the state licensure that's required, they meet, building and zoning and the current regs and, everything like that, and they do have licensed by the book people, our office cannot deny them just out of suspicion, right? So what this is meant to do is to enhance our ongoing surveillance and to deter any future people that may have high turnover rates among staff that are not qualified. So you'll see in Chief's application proposal, it gets very particular about monitoring who is patroning the establishments as well as who is working at them. We, for the health department, care who is licensed and certified to be able to provide the services. The other side of that is where this ordinance comes in. So we would not be looking to close or prohibit any new establishment that is, within the public health realm if they wanted to open a massage or a combination establishment that might do salon work and massage or tattoo and massage in the future. So we have that all outlined in our codes that, again, we'll review with Chief a little bit more thorough. I think also the template that was used from the attorney kind of migrates a bit of language that is redundant to what's already in our code. So I think we really need to kind of clarify and take out some points. And looking at some other surrounding communities that are within a health district rather than a municipal health department would probably be beneficial, and we've provided those. So, I think if you were to limit new establishments from opening, my concern would be how would you determine, who is going to be eligible and who's not, if they do all meet the literal criteria for, qualified good work. So I think there's all good points being made, and those are some of the concerns that we had echoed this afternoon as well.
And the only other thing is, I thought I saw language in there that kind of pigeonholed you into doing the inspection. So I think it's always a good idea to say the police chief or a designee.
Yeah.
Just you have somebody else to do it.
Yeah, so in the definitions, you'll see chief of police is defined as, or his designee, director of health is defined as his or her designee, so that moving forward, the rest of the ordinance reads that way. But there are definitely some areas that I think need a bit more clarifying, just to button it up.
Thank you.
This sounds like a perfect argument for what Colin is trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you have one piece looking at just these behaviors, which is perfectly legitimate. You have one piece looking at just, zoning behaviors. None of those address the illegal activity that is of concern, and certainly none of it addresses exploitation.
All right, so we will proceed to a public hearing at our next meeting. Item 12.
Motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgess approve the bid for contract fiscal year 26-B102 for bituminous surface treatment and crack sealing to Seal Coating Incorporated, DBA Indus, Granite Street, Braintree, Massachusetts, as per bid, including $1.99 per pound for crack sealing, $432 per ton for a micro surface type 2, and authorize Mayor Hess to sign all contracts and related documents as recommended by Public Works Director James Stewart.
All right, Jim.
So we went to open bid, we received 3 bids. The winning bid is Seal Coating DBA Indus. This used them for how many years, Jeremy? Yeah, long time. 8 or 10 years. Very happy with the product. They do the micro paving. You guys should have gotten a copy of the bid results, but their crack sealing was significantly cheaper than their micro paving. They're the only one to bid on the micro paving, and it falls in line with previous years when we take into account the escalation. So I'm recommending that we award that for this coming year.
Are these the guys that did Horton Hill and Maple Hill?
Yes.
Okay, they did a fantastic job.
What's the difference between type 2 and type 3?
Type 3 is the rut. The rut filling. So I spoke to the contractor, actually the guy who asked that exact question. He said that's mostly done out in areas of the country where asphalt is very expensive, and he says you're not going to need it because we'll fill ruts if we're doing roads that actually have that. Normally, we're not doing roads that have ruts because the base is already failing, and it doesn't make too much sense. So we're doing mostly roads that are in
good shape.
5, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old at the oldest.
They did my street, it was 30, and they did micro paved, and it still looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's still holding up.
Yeah.
So
because we got good people on the street. We have to educate them.
They have extra soft tires.
Yeah.
All right, any questions or further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.
Motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgess waive the bid for the fiber optic cable installation at 400 Elm Street and authorize Mayor Hess to enter into a contract with A2B Communications LLC, Bruce Avenue, Berlin, Connecticut, in an amount not to exceed $20,261 as recommended by Public Works Director James Stewart.
Second the motion.
All right, so this is one of the finishing touches on phase one of our new industrial park, where we are obligated to, hook, well, it's not Lanxess anymore, but what's the name of the company now, Jim? They have a new name.
UBI,
What?
UBE.
Okay, UBE, we've got to hook up some fiber for them. And why are we waiving the bid, Jim?
Well, we contacted several companies, our town electrician, PTM, the traffic people and the downtown engineer or contractor who did all lighting and everything, and they don't do it or they were not interested. This company is the company that Lanxess recommended and was utilized in the past.
Yeah.
And we feel that instead of having the contractor do it and marking up, because they would just hire this company and mark it up by their 50%, and then we'd have to pay obviously OG to oversee it. We felt that Jeremy and his guys, we could oversee it and without a markup. So that's the reason why we're going with these guys.
I'm sure John Mascoli will keep an eye on it.
Exactly, and that's what John recommended and wanted, and they know what they need to do to make the connections and make everything work.
All right, any questions? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 14.
Motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorized mayor has to enter into an agreement with SLR International Corporation, 45 Glastonbury Boulevard, Glastonbury, to update the phase one environmental site assessments for parcels Y and Z.
Second motion.
All right, so just so everyone, especially the new members know, whenever a town buys property or acquires property, if you're ever gonna seek state grants or funding, you have to have a site assessment done before you acquire it. So we've had site assessments done, but too much time has gone by, so they have to be updated. Now, Jim, I don't see a number here. Is there a reason why there's no number?
I don't know.
It's,
It's what?
we talking about professional fees? Or just what the whole thing's gonna cost?
Well, no, it's not a big ticket item, but we theoretically should have a number here.
What's the $7,600 fee that's on here? Right.
That's professional fees. Do we have grant funding for this?
Well, so we'll get to that. So maybe when we get to some of our later motions, but the problem, this is dragged on for a long time, and just to I'll just say bring everyone up to date. The state acquisitions right away team, they don't move quite as quickly as we do. The long and the short of it is, they had to redo the appraisals and redo a whole host of things to comply with their state procurement process. So, because of the delays, we have to redo the site assessment or update it, which is not a big ticket item, but I'm not sure what the number is. But let's remember that, and I don't know the last time we spoke about this, but we have appraisals. Now we have new appraisals that have increased some, but the state is giving us a grant of $300,000 to clean up the site. And we want to clean it up, not have them do it because it would just take too long for them. So we're paying about 50,000 more for both pieces, but we're getting back 300,000 toward the cleanup. So the state has been very cooperative. They're just slow. Parcels Y and Z, if you don't know, are just to the south. They adjoin the event center. And half of parcel Y will be the parking lot for the event center. And the rest of parcel Y and parcel Z, together with Ram Welding across the street, will become part of our new industrial park. So it's a really cool acquisition, and it'll just look better when you come in and off the highway and you come down Scott Street. You're gonna come right to the industrial park right there. So the signage and everything will be right there. So we chip away at this all the time. It's hard to get it across the finish line, but that's where we are. So any questions?
It basically looks like it's $7,600 to review existing current information, except for if they have to do some, include some additional services, which is water, wetland delineation, environmental sampling, environmental lien search, and lender reliance letters. Those will be the additional costs.
Yep.
I don't have that document. That's why I don't know. So I don't know what you're looking at. So.
Yeah, that's the number.
76, yeah, because it's a project, the scope of the services, and then it gives you the professional fees for those above that.
And they both have to be done at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all good with that number?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm sure if they have to do those 4 additional items, they will come back to us with a number.
I'm assuming that.
Am I right on that, Jim?
It says exclusions and or limitations.
So the 76 is to review all the old information that's there. Yeah.
All right. Any questions?
No.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 15.
Most of the Board of Mayor and Burgess has authorized Mayor Hess to enter into a contract for an online registration program with myrec.com, Burr Pond Road, Pittsford, Vermont, as recommended by Park Superintendent Sandra Lucas Ribeiro.
Second motion.
Good evening, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
MyRec is a program that we're looking to establish for the Recreation Department. We're a little behind the 8 ball when it comes to, as a town, when it comes to our registering for our camps, for our groups that utilize the rec building, for even for our sports that occupy the fields. There's a lot of the surrounding towns that are using the MyRec program where they could register, they could pay online, they could request dates to secure fields or time inside the rec building. Especially, most importantly, is our registration for our camps. You know, we get parents kind of rushing down there. It's usually during the day. We do set aside some evening hours, but if it's not convenient, and we only accept cash, which is also a problem, cash or check. So we're looking to streamline the whole process a little bit more. We did put it in the budget for this current year. The terms of the contracts for the MyRec program are, it's 1 year, and then we could cancel within, I believe it's 60 days of notifying them. Right now, to do this fiscal year, we start March 1st. They would, once the contract is signed, start onboarding a lot of our information and getting feedback from us to start preparing the program. That would be for the remaining part of this fiscal year. It's $1,150. For years after that, it's based on an annual revenue. We fall into the 100,000 max, 100,000 revenue. Hopefully more in the future, but at this time, it's 100,000 that we're falling into under 100,000. So the fee for the annual fee going forward after this fiscal year for a whole year would be $3,445. Jim and I have been talking about this for a few years now and trying to get something implemented again for the camps and to help people to not have to call, leave messages to schedule fields and areas. So we're going to start with the camps and kind of keep adding to it. It's a great resource. They have a lot of stuff. It would almost serve as our Park and Rec kind of website. We could add information, take away information. We did get feedback from all of the surrounding towns, and they all seem to be very impressed with the company. They've been doing it for quite a few years now. The surrounding Valley, Seymour, Derby, and Sonia, Middlebury, I believe, also uses it.
All right, questions for Sandra? That was a very good summary, Sandra.
Thank you.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Items.
Chief, we go to the addendum now to get the chief out of here.
Okay.
Motion of the Board of Managers add to the agenda a motion to waive the bid and authorize a change order to the MPD HVAC repair project.
Second motion.
Okay, Chief.
This is just added to the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it's on the agenda, item 2.
Motion of the Board of Managers waive the bid and authorize a change order in scope of the NPD HVAC repair project in an amount up to $30,000 to USA Mechanical Energy Services, LLC, International Drive East Granby, for valve replacement and ductwork repairs as recommended by Chief C. Colin McAllister.
Second motion.
All right, Colin?
So as you guys recall, we did have a capital item which authorized the repair initially of the control system for the HVAC system in the police department. The second component of that was the certified air balancing. We initiated the second phase of the project after we completed the control system. We identified, or the vendor identified, some significant issues in the valves as well as the duct work. So we stopped the air balancing project and are looking for a change order to address the immediate issues that we found. Captain Bastos has been the project manager on this. He's joining us by Zoom, and I'm just going to allow him to give a little bit more of a detailed explanation of what transpired, why it's pressing, why we do need to address it. Unfortunately, none of this was shocking for us, as I've been keeping the board updated. Our HVAC system is in rough shape, but he could describe it in a little bit more detail. Tony, can you go ahead? You're muted. Tony, you're muted.
There we go. All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks, Chief. Yeah, as you guys all know, our HVAC system is over 25 years old. We've been kind of fumbling it to the finish line, and it is in desperate need. Pretty much our controls prior to this year, our functioning within our HVAC system was basically on or off, and trying to put Band-Aids on it to keep our system going. We asked USA Mechanical to come in and kind of give us a multi-phase, multi-year proposal how to get our system functioning again. Year 1, which was this year, was 3 phases: the controls, the valves, and then the final step was supposed to be the ear rebalancing. They paused after the second phase. I mean, we always anticipated we were going to identify a lot of areas that needed immediate repair, some items that could possibly be pushed back into next fiscal year's expenditure to get the next phase up and going so it functions properly. And that's the point where we hit, where they paused before the final step of the certified air balancing. They basically said, we'd be doing a disservice to you with all the valves being in failure that we've identified. That's a major cause of your disbalancing discomfort throughout the building. Areas are way too hot, areas are way too cold. They basically paused it there, and like we're asking you to repurpose the $53,500 that we were supposed to use for certified air rebalancing and push that towards replacing. They identified 17 out of 26 areas. Basically, over half of our system is in complete state of failure. Basically, you have our main air supply units up in the attic and the basement. They push air to control units further down the line that are called variable air volume valves. Basically, they're zone control valves to say, hey, I'm going to open up the damper to this room or shut it. Not, like I said, over 17 of those zones are in failure out of the 26. So they identified everything that's in failure, including 2 large areas that have duct work that's completely blown apart. So we're basically blowing air to a couple of those zones that it's just going into the attic, going to the basement, going to wall cavities, and just completely inefficient. So they came back with a quote of 79,600, just shy of, I believe it's about 28,000 over what was budgeted for air balancing, and are asking us to replace those units in place of the certified air rebalancing. They believe once we do this, that the certified air balancing would no longer be necessary. And just to further speak to it, this replacing of the valves was in our next phase for next year anyway. So either way, we're going to be doing this, but we're asking that we start doing this year so that our system can function the way it's supposed to function. Because as of right now, we have rooms that are 55 degrees and we have rooms that are 80 degrees. And as you're seeing, it's over 65 of our building. That's just completely out of balance. It's wasted energy. It's just uncomfortable. It needs to be repaired.
Okay, questions?
And we know there's been issues over there for years. How does this impact the little renovation you have going on over there with the dispatch area and the other areas?
So that's also part of that project, is having an engineer come in to make sure that that room is going to function with our pre-existing HVAC system. So that is a component that is going to be funded with that project. Is we've been very clear with them, our concerns about the HVAC, in particular that room, to make sure that it's not over too humid in there, or else it's getting the right amount of temperature. But that is part of that project, and we've identified it.
And I'm assuming you guys are comfortable with this contractor, because I guess he's trying to steer in the right direction, the best things to do over there. We just need to stay on top of that, because this has been an issue for years, and we all know that. And we just don't want to be fixing Band-Aids a little at a time. We want to make sure we get the whole damn thing right. And that's what our initial goal is, especially when we're spending a lot of money.
And that's really what this is, the captain could probably speak more to it, but we found places that there's essentially particle board in place of duct work. There was cardboard covering things, and I'm not sure if there even was really a plan for this prior, but I just want to be fully transparent and try to get this done right, so that we know that what we're doing and kind of a starting point here. And I think the controls are the main thing, getting an idea of what it is. Tony can actually see on the computer now where the air is flowing from, but he also can kind of see the failures now too. So I'm hoping that this is a big factor of it, and then we can actually get into the minor fixes, like replacing some fans that are, scheduled for maintenance, and some smaller things. But from my understanding, this is a big part of it, and really getting into easy stuff in the ceilings, like the ceiling tiles. That's where a lot of that ductwork is. It's accessible. I'm a little concerned because we are at some point getting to see what's behind the walls. Some of the stuff is not to standard. It wasn't the steel that it needs to be. A lot of it was other material that probably wasn't the Dakota standard at the time that it was built. But we have it now, and I'm going to deal with it as best we can. So.
Some of the other issues you had talked about, were they from the original construction of that facility when it was brand new, or were they things that were done by other contractors that sort of Mickey Moused it?
It's a combination of both. A lot of it was, there was a proprietary system that was in place originally, and what we replaced this year was essentially a computer in the basement that was like a Linux or Windows 95. We had to have a standalone computer that was controlling the HVAC system. So getting a new system that's to 2026 standards was huge.
Yeah.
A lot of the other repairs, going back several vendors ago, told us they were doing these inspections. They addressed these things, and it's clear to me that that wasn't being done, and this stuff should have been picked up on sooner. But I think it's just a lot of it is I'm committed to just addressing this now. It's not going to get cheaper. I'm committed to that building, that facility. I think it's in overall good shape, but I don't want to be before the board and couple years saying it's beyond repair, we're in a situation where we need to renovate down to the studs or something. But we do need to start investing in some of the infrastructure in the actual HVAC, that wasn't really being done for, it was piecemeal, literally duct tape in some cases. And getting a plan moving forward to really maintain it.
And I'm the one that would always talk about things like this because we just want to do it right, and that's the main thing. We know it costs money, but if we spend the money the right way, we're not going to have issues in the future. And when we have issues in the future because somebody did a half-assed job, that's when I get pissed off because we wasted money.
Yeah.
I walked through this building shortly after it was built, and even then there were a lot of issues. I mean, you opened the door and the light switch was behind the door instead of over here.
Yeah.
And where the jail cells were, you couldn't walk into a room and see into them. They're around the corner. I mean, a lot of little things that you say, who designed this thing?
But we had a lot of contractors on that job.
A lot.
There are issues with it. The overall layout is effective and efficient for us.
Is that your body camera? You stop recording?
But it overall, I feel like it's, we had a needs assessment done a couple years ago. They felt that it does meet our needs. We do have the amount of students that we do need to operate and grow into still. So it's not like we're in place some other police departments where they're, they don't have either equipment or storage. So I think it's just bringing the building into this section.
Gotta be done.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
All right.
Sig binder clip.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Most of the Board of Mayor Burgess add to the agenda discussion possible action of a feasibility study for the 5th to 8th grade middle school on the Cross Street property in the amount of $35,000.
Second motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it's now on the agenda. I'll just say for the new Burgesses, this goes back quite a while, but in our long-term facility plan,
14 years.
Yeah.
we've been talking about building a townwide 5 to 8 school at Cross Street. And it also coincides with the acquisition of the Hershey property. So what we need to do is to get a feasibility study for several things, but most imminent is where the property line will be so that we can make sure we maximize the financial benefit, minimize the environmental issues, keep the environmental issues away from the school, but still make sure we get enough property for the playing fields. So we're pretty sure we can do it. In fact, we know we can do it, but we want to get the maximum benefit that we can from the land. So, Bob, do you want to add to this now? You're the let me just say this for the new Burgesses. In Naugatuck, for the last, 30 plus years, we've had a standing building committee that deals with projects like this. And Bob has been the chairman for a long, long time. I don't know how long, but a long, long time. So we're going to continue that for this project. And we want to get going. Now, one of the things that I'm just going to throw it out for discussion here, but there are certain amounts of state reimbursement that we can get for a new school, but there are also ways to enhance that amount and get a larger number. So to me, one of the major enticements of working with this firm is that in New Britain, they were successful in getting 95% funding for 4 separate schools. So if our number is 78%, 95 is like fantastic. So we're intrigued by that. And we'll be working with our lobbyists, with the architect, with our own internal team, and trying to put together a really, really great plan. This will be a big project. A lot of people will be involved. Board of Ed, town, working together. It's exciting project. So Bob, why don't you take over from there?
Well, you said a lot of it. Roughly a month ago, Fred from Castle Booze called me and indicated that he would like to have a meeting regarding possible future middle school. And I said, okay, I'll talk with the mayor and we'll set up a time. So I basically selected just a few people to attend this meeting. Charlie being one, because he's on the standing building committee with me, and he's a teacher. Wayne McAllister, who's also on the standing building committee, and Wayne has been involved with education, and not only education, but he was the controller of the borough for years, and he was an assessor for years, so he was part of the our group. The mayor, Bob Mezzo, chairman of the Board of Ed, and myself, and Freddie from Castle Booze, and he come to us and says, "Look, there's a terrific opportunity here. If you guys want to really jump on it." And Freddie was a big part of the plan design that was put forward back 14 years ago when we first talked about it in our long-term committee, which the mayor is the chairman of that. So I brought Freddie in and we had a discussion, and he says, there's a possibility you can get up to 95%. Well, when you say 95% reimbursement, that clicks on everybody's board. Yeah. And so, but there's a timeline that has to be done, has to be addressed. That's why we're bringing it tonight. Freddie is also going to meet with Melissa Cooney and Bob Mezzo around the 20th of January to talk about doing ed specs, because we need that in order to move forward with the designs and everything of that nature. So there's a time frame that we have to follow, and it has to get approved by the legislative body of the state, which there's a good possibility it will be. Once that is approved by that body, there's no changing. We know that we're in good shape at that point. So that's why we're moving forward in getting this feasibility study signed off so they can start doing their due diligence and move the ball forward. And I'm hoping that we're lucky that we could get a high reimbursement rate. That would be unbelievable. Since we're used to, the 77, 78%, would love to see 90, 95%. But you know what? In order to do that, we have to do this. And so that's why we're moving forward with getting this ball rolling tonight to go to the next step.
And it's coming at the right time, and it definitely needed.
And new, like you said, New Britain, they're doing a brand new school and 95% reimbursable. I mean, it's unheard of, and so and you know what? I think Naugatuck is in a really good spot because of all the great positive things that we're doing as a town, a borough, and Pete has a lot of great people up at the state that are following Naugatuck, and I think they're in our court to help us move forward with this adventure, which I think is going to be fantastic. And it's something that Charlie and I have been working on for 14, 15 years. Actually, Charlie and I were the ones that came back and forth on the initial plan.
Yes, originally it was the NET plan and the Morangi plan.
Yeah. And you know what? And it was all a great group, and a lot of the people that were on that group really aren't around anymore. But once we move forward, we're going to finalize get our standing building committee people together, and we're going to add a few to it. Like when we did the renovation to the high school, Jan Saab was on our committee. So, people like Melissa Cooney will be on our committee, and Bob Mezzo will be on the committee as being the Board of Ed chairperson. Of course, Charlie Yeah, we've got a very good group and,
Now, isn't Seth on the education committee at the state?
Yes.
So Seth might be able to provide some guidance
yeah,
as
so
well.
that would be all great. So I think we've got,
Whatever you can.
I think we got a really good group that can move this thing
Yeah, so I
forward.
would probably
And you
keep them
know,
in the loop.
quite honestly, there's some people don't like Castle Booze. I really don't care. I like Castle Booze because Castle Booze, Freddie could be a pain in the ass, okay? But that's okay. That's okay. Because Freddie watched every single penny that went through the renovation project. And O&G was the same way. And so I like people like that. He may call me 3, 4, 5 times a week. Okay, Fred, but that's okay. It's not costing us more money. When you finish a project on time and under budget, that's what we like to hear. And that's what we like to see. So.
Excellent.
Sounds
This
good.
feasibility study is the first step.
Yeah.
To a much needed journey. We've been
Absolutely.
waiting a while. We're actually behind our original timeline. We said
We are.
this is the way to go. Let's get this feasibility study. Because remember, if you don't know the property, there's a lot of topography issues that need to be looked at. Logistics as far as how the power comes in, where the driveway is going to be, and then most importantly, as the mayor stated that. With the moving forward of Peter Paul, we need to know how much land from the Peter Paul property we need to hold on and make this happen.
Yeah.
I think this is a great thing. I highly recommend we move forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, and Seth would be a great advocate for this.
Yes.
All right.
That's great.
Any further discussion?
Just have to make a motion to approve it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, let's go to item 16.
Yeah, we.
Just had a discussion.
So we did.
No, that was just a discussion.
Discussion and possible action.
Oh, okay. That was just discussion. We need a motion.
Want me to read it?
All right,
Yeah.
well, let's
Bob
I'll
will read one.
entertain a motion that we engage Castle Blues to do a feasibility study for the 5th to 8th grade middle school on the Cross Street property in the amount of $35,000.
Go for it. Motion.
Second.
I didn't see what happened. We have a motion and a second?
Yes.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Most of the Board of Mayor Burgess adopt the following municipal resolution in support of fiscal year 26 EPA Brownfield Community-Wide Assessment Grant as a friend.
All right, so this motion and the next one, working with Danielle, there are 2 avenues for additional brownfields funding for future projects for the town. So the first one involves land that's owned by the town or a private company. And the second one is only for borough land in item 17. But basically, we don't have, a whole host of specific projects all lined up, but we have some. And this would just put us, in line to have funding for Brownsfield projects moving forward. So it's the money's there. And if we don't ask for it, we won't get it. So we feel that we should pursue both.
Yep. The roll call vote.
Oh, boy. I'm gonna have to pay attention. I can't look around the room here. All right, Caitlin,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Julie,
Yes.
Jose,
Yes.
Dorothy,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Rocky,
Yes.
Charlie.
Yes.
I am yes. Did I miss anyone?
Nope. Okay.
All right, let's go to 17th.
Most of the Board of Mayor and Burgesses adopt the following municipal resolution in support of fiscal year 26 EPA Brownfield multipurpose grant as if read.
Second motion.
Okay, so same discussion. The only difference here is it's more money, but it's only available for borough-owned land. Notice there's no matching with either of these. So these are really good opportunities to to help us continue to get Brownsfield properties back on the tax rolls. So we're very aggressive with that, and it's proven to be a good thing, and we're going to continue it. So really, that's the future of the valley. We were an industrial valley. We lost the industry. The land has been mediated, and now we got to bring it back. So this is how to get the funding to do it. So it's pretty simple. Any questions?
No.
Oh,
All right. Julie,
yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
Caitlin,
Yes.
Jose,
Yes.
Dorothy,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Rocky,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes again.
and I'll go yes as well. So
He was trying to.
we got everyone?
We got everyone.
Yes, we got it.
All right. All right, let's go to 18.
Most of the Board of Mayor and Burgesses approve the following vendors to continue to provide goods and or services upon passage and through June 30th, 2026, and to authorize Mayor Hess to execute all contracts and related documents as recommended by Controller Eileen A. Carnacchia as if read.
Second motion.
All right, any questions? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right,
Most of the Board of Mayor and Burgesses authorize Mayor Hess to enter into a lease agreement with Skyline Financial Federal Credit Union, 3528 East Main Street, Waterbury, Connecticut, in the amount of $2,500,000 as recommended by Controller Eileen A. Carnacchia.
Second motion.
all right, so right now I'm going to address this motion and the next one just by way of background. But when you look at the vehicles here, going back to as long ago as 21, but 22, 23, 24, in our approved budget, we budgeted for leasing these vehicles. For whatever reason, the leases were never completed, and our capital reserves were overutilized without, I'll just say, in a questionable way. And we have to fix it. So Eileen has spent a lot of time on this. We've gone through, we were dealing with Skyline, and we still are. But in some cases, First American has a much lower rate because they have some tax exempt aspects to their financing. So we've tried to put together a package that that essentially brings back our reserves, but also at a lower price in some cases than what was anticipated in the budget. So like when you look at the capital budget for those prior years and you look at these items, pick any one. I'll just look at the first one here. 2022 Ford Explorer Interceptor, 56,621. So we paid 56,621, but we only budgeted for the lease payment of however many years it was. And that same logic applies to every one of these items. So we need to complete those leases. And it was a lot of work, but Eileen did a great job putting it together. And I think she came up with the best way to finance it from an interest rate standpoint. Now, Eileen, do you want to add anything to that?
No, it just the leases range from 3 to 10 years, so, you know, if it was a $60,000 vehicle, we probably intended to only spend 20 for the first year, it was a 3-year lease, so. This is trying to recoup money for the capital reserve fund. That was the original intention. But their chances are we can finance up to both of these arrangements up to 100%. So that would, you know, we'll fine tune it, but at this point, we have the ability for both entities to finance up to 100%.
What's First American? What's the amount of money on that?
That's 6.5.
6.5 million?
Yes.
Okay. And
Just to give a buffer, but just because we have the dispatch center in there.
Yeah.
And we're not quite sure where that's gonna be.
Yeah.
And then you never know if the fire engine comes in a little bit more, just.
Yeah. And what's the rate at Skyline versus the American?
I think, James hasn't gotten back to me, but it is a couple of percentage points. I asked him like earlier, but it's, you know, probably like over a 2-point spread, maybe. Could be a big, like, but it could be that much. So we haven't fine tuned anything, we haven't finalized anything, but.
What were the rates when we were supposed to have done this? Do we know what the rates were? Because I know the rates at one time were pretty good.
So the Skyline arrangement that they just did.
Yeah.
They just provided me was a little short of 5. So it's like 4.89 or like
Okay.
in that range. So great.
And what's First American? First American.
Sorry, that's First American.
Okay.
That's First American.
Okay.
Skyline, I think, was above 6.
Okay.
So that was, we were trying to take that from the fleet fund.
Yeah.
So there's, you know, that's a larger one. So that was exclusively, and it's a shorter term. The fleet fund is gonna be a 3-year term for those vehicles.
Yeah.
So we're gonna turn that around a lot quicker.
Okay.
And we don't have to do the whole thing. We're gonna plan, but accordingly, we just wanted to get the upper limits.
Yep. Okay.
All right, any questions? Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 20.
Most of the Board of Maine purchases authorized mayor has to enter into lease agreements with First American Equipment Finance under an existing master lease agreement in the amount of $6,500,000 as recommended by Controller Eileen A. Carnacchia.
Second motion.
All right, so this is the exact same discussion. Just Eileen did the best she could to break it out in a way that makes sense. Any questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 21.
Most of the Board of Maine purchases authorized Controller Eileen A. Carnacchia to refund the following tax refunds approved by tax collector James Goggin as of Fred.
Second motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment? Second public comment. Anyone in the room or on Zoom that would like to make a public comment?
Negative.
What?
Negative.
Last call for public comment. All right, Burgess comments. We'll start with Mike.
I would just like to say that I hope you feel a little better soon, Mayor.
Oh, thank you. I feel all right. I kind of think I might be infectious. I don't know. I feel that tingle in my throat. Jose.
You know what? a big Bravo Zulu to our plow crews, to Public Works, who did a tremendous job keeping up with that first storm last week, making sure that we had clear roads and safe roads. And by and large, that's what I observed throughout the borough. They did a hell of a job. And they kept my driveway clear this time, which was kind of nice.
They're the best. Kim,
We're happy, Julie and I have been working on scholarship in the form of a lumber account for construction projects by students at the high school in the name of George McCary. And I'm pleased to report that the Exchange Club has offered to put up $500. And so then we hit the Rotary Club, who offered to put up $500, and International Building matched that. So we now have $1,500 that will be an account with International Lumber that our students are not our students, our construction teacher will be able to draw from and create projects that benefit the town as well as their education.
We're kind of thinking maybe with Paul Munko, trying to do something where when those seals are on the ground, whether there can be something constructed with wood on the side, that would be an explanation of what that is. So there'd be,
Much like you see in state parks.
Yeah, yeah, I think you should.
For a write-up, like.
Yeah, yeah, so some of those maybe can be constructed. Yeah. Which would be great.
And it's all part of the effort to make more connections between the community and the schools to enhance education. Tomorrow we're going to the job center. It's more for me, I've not been there, Julie has, to make a connection that will enhance, we're hoping our manufacturing program and there's lots of opportunities. Job center brings lots of opportunities. I know, Mayor, you're familiar with that, but much like we did with the trade industry, making that boots on the ground level connection to say, here we are, and this is what our students could learn from you. That's been, it's been a really good job to do for both of us. We're having a lot of fun doing it. Yeah. And Happy New Year.
all right, thank you. Julie,
Other than that, nothing. You talked about the senior center, so that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Liaison to daycare and also housing authority, but nothing much going on there. So, all good.
I would, let me just say this about the housing authority. I'm under the impression that our new board members are doing well and that
Yes.
things are functioning better than they have in the past. Would you concur with that assessment?
Yes, yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, everything seems to be moving along there. Christine does a wonderful job. So no complaints. Sure does.
All right, thank you. Charlie,
Nothing really new to report from the last meeting because the committees I'm liaison to did not meet in December. But happy new year to everybody. And excited to go towards 2026. Do I get a hug? That's in my ugly sweater.
Nice haircut too, Chad. You have a nice haircut too, Rocky.
Thanks.
let's go to Bob.
Haircut. One here.
You're up. I'm up. I have nothing. Happy New Year, everyone.
All right. Rocky.
Yes, only one thing. Since Jim K is a captive audience and Eileen's here, where are we with being able to pay online for various departments? So our residents can pay online.
It's still in the investigation phase because of the amount of fees that are usually involved in it. we also have to make significant changes to those departments, equipment wise, and we don't know exactly what that's gonna be to allow that to happen.
Why fees? Why can't we have something on our website, you click on it and it goes directly into our?
I just gotta go to a middleman.
I'll give that to you. Why does it have to go someplace else?
Everybody has to pay a fee now.
Yeah, it's a park and rec when they do theirs, it's gonna be a fee.
I mean,
Services everywhere.
This morning we had a discussion over the, well, possibly changing them, and Jim spoke to me earlier today about, trying to do the recycling center. There's a couple of different approaches, and I haven't decided the best approach. I think it's easier right now as far as there's one bank account that the tax, and that's taken care of, point and pay, that's separate. The permit fees are in a separate account, that's for the building, land use, WPCA, those go in another account, golf goes in another account. And it's actually easier to segregate at this point in time. We're gonna try to add on, we're gonna coordinate with Sandy as far as my rec's gonna come on. Certain things might be available through my rec. The bank did give me a contact, as far as trying to do something offsite, without, we're gonna have to use some sort of wireless solution for the, recycling center, which is a challenge. Now, what other fees are you referring to?
Well, it's all started out with the dog license fees. And when I was talking to the town clerk, said, well, it's gonna cost us money, I said, you add $2 to the fee when you license your dog and you mail it out.
Well, the dog license fee, I would say that we probably have to talk to the state of Connecticut because they manage that process. I have to do reporting for that process. So, and I have to do a significant amount of reporting as to how much is collected, how much we collect in for the animal control and then remit all that stuff, and they take a slice of everything. So they might also take if we get it, they might take a slice of it, and I don't know, I mean, we can investigate what other towns do, but I think we'd have to follow for the dog license specifically, we'd have to follow the state's lead, because that's managed by the state and they create the fees. I'm not quite sure that we could put our own fees.
Yeah, we just at the dog park want to encourage people to register their dogs. And they're gonna say, if I have to go down there and do it, I'm not registering my dog.
Yeah. It is the fees, because we do all our enrichment classes at Adult Ed through this course storm, which is, same type of thing. And the problem is, I mean, it is, there's a fee on it, but it's a lot easier to do it because people want to do it that way. The only thing is, if we have to refund, then we get another fee too, on top of that.
It shouldn't be this hard.
It's expensive, but it makes it easier.
Partnership.
Did you see how Southbury does their dog licensing fee?
I should look, I don't know.
Yeah, I would just.
Well, what do you do all day?
Oh, she does.
Brother.
Which do you do for today?
Thank you, I just wanted to bring it up.
It is good, but a lot of things.
I realize it's not an important in the scheme of things.
It's on our radar,
All right, are you good, Rocky?
I'm good, thank you.
Dorothy,
I have nothing. Happy New Year.
all right, Caitlin, Connecticut Main Street, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, before that, I was gonna say that the TIF subcommittee met, and so we started looking at the facade improvement plan applications, which was exciting to see mock-ups of what the building owners would like to do. Some that maybe need a little bit more work, but some that seem ready. I've been following the zoning meetings for a while. A big topic of discussion is the YMCA project. So there was the last extension of the public hearing. It's over now, so they'll be voting on it on the upcoming meeting. And I think to that point, something I wanted to mention is we don't have very much of a captive audience tonight, but at some of the other committee meetings, there are quite a few people in the room. And I said this before, but it's really challenging to hear and see when you're a member of the audience. And Eileen also said this at the end of the zoning meeting. But you can't hear anything if this room is packed, which it has been, and someone's standing here, you can't hear what they're saying. You also can't see what they're presenting. So I just want to bring that to the attention of the group again, that it would be great to you know, if we can invest in.
Caitlin, let me add some audio visual.
Well, I'm in the process now of buying another TV
Oh,
in
nice.
sand of the same size, so that there will be no issue seeing.
Perfect.
I have purchased a microphone, but the amp isn't any good. So I'm looking at an overhaul, and I don't know if I can handle it in this year's budget.
Yeah.
Or if it'll end up being a capital item
Karaoke
where we
machine.
pull out the speakers and we put in a new board and
Yeah.
just revamp this room.
Yeah.
But it is being looked at.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people get like really agitated in the audience and it's gotten like a little, it's, you know, it's just, there's a lot of tension. And I myself could not hear what like half the speakers were saying, and I couldn't see like the draft of the new, like the YMCA plan has had like a million drafts at this point. I couldn't see the draft. You can pull it up online, but that's great. And then yeah, I think that new, what's it called? New Street? Main Street.
Main Street.
I don't know why I can't get that right. Main Street. Yeah, it just popped up in my head because I remember when she was speaking, it was sounding like it was going to cost a lot of money. And then when she said 1,500, I was like, oh, it seemed a little more focused on like the cultural aspect of like a downtown area and like maybe providing a blueprint for that. So I'm not against it. You know, it seems like we have a lot of energy, you know, happening towards downtown. So I'm not sure if we need more of that or if it would complement it. I don't know. I welcome the thoughts of others, but it just not the highest priority, but I just remembered it when we were talking about it.
I guess if they can offer a specific avenue that we don't have would be good, but if it's an overlap of services or things we're already doing, then you have to think twice as to whether you want to replicate all of that and duplicate it.
Yeah, I don't understand. They had indicated that a fee was based on a per capita. And not only did she say it, but the gentleman who came to the NEDCB board also indicated that. And so we never got a number of what it is per capita. And what do you get for that? So what do you get for the 1,500? You know,
that's like a country club initiation fee, that
Yeah.
1,500, you're gonna pay that every year.
Yeah.
Or on sign up. But then the services they provide, the ambassador program, for example, which we wouldn't have much use for anyway. You know, those little things that they do, they charge for that.
Yeah.
So,
which I think that's fine. But you know what? Give us a detailed list.
right, yeah.
Of what all the fees are. And so that we don't want to do, like you had indicated, overlapping, because we have a lot of people involved on what's going on in downtown. And yeah, another set of eyes, yeah, it'd be great, but we don't want to pay twice.
I mean, again, I've been observing what Main Street Waterbury has been doing for probably the last three and a half years or so of my involvement with the chamber.
Yeah.
And most of that, we're really kind of doing on our own already.
Exactly.
So there is an opportunity there for a significant amount of overlap.
Mhm. Yeah, I think there was some level of, she said there was some level of research and, you know, and bringing things together, but I think we're doing a lot of that already. You know, we have enough people here.
It just
already
seemed like a
doing that.
necessary service.
So unless they can provide a service that's outside the box that we don't have in our, you know, in our
Yeah.
arsenal, then, you know, maybe that's something to look at. But if it's a duplicate effort, then we don't want to waste their time.
Seems like they
And we
developed
don't wanna
like a
spend money on
climate.
And we don't want to spend money on it, yeah.
If it's only $1,500 and they can maybe detail more what the product and result would be, then I would say yes, why not, you know?
That wouldn't be a terrible way.
No. But I hear what you're saying, I agree. Seems like, it seemed a little abstract as well, like, so that's why I was confused about the fee, because it was a lot of services they were detailing.
Yeah.
But then it was 1,500, so I was like, this isn't making sense, so, yeah.
1,500 could also pay for mulch at the rubber mulch at the, you know, like the playrooms.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
How would they call it, riprap?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, anyone else? Last call for Burgess comment. All right, let's go to item 24.
Motion to recess to executive session at 8:45 PM for discussion on the following: real estate parcels ABC, Y, and Z, Naugatuck Industrial Park, Section 3, freight rail discussion, Energy Park Data Center, Hershey Property, Riverview Mobile Home Park, Zero Stony Brook Road, Westview, collective bargaining UPSU, personnel assessor, and pending litigation.
Second motion.
Peter, you calling in?
Yeah, so I'll,
Who
wants me to call him?
The audio.
You could just come
Come
and
and
sit
sit
in
in
the
the
audience.
audience.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't think the air.
I'll, all right,
Don't sit next to me.
we're in executive session.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're in executive session.
All right, I'll reconvene the regular meeting at 9:05. And we're coming out of executive session. Item 25 matters emanating from executive session. So I will entertain a motion that I be authorized to acquire parcels Y and Z from the state of Connecticut DOT for a combined purchase price of $393,000, provided that we receive a grant of $300,000 to help us with the remediation of the property.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes.
Who was the second?
Julie.
Okay, I didn't hear her.
Ah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. And I'll also entertain a motion that I be authorized to convey 4 parcels on Stony Brook Road. These are properties that can't be built. They're unbuildable properties to the adjoining property owners as discussed in executive session.
So moved. Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I guess
Motion to adjourn at 9:07 PM.
Second the motion.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're good.